Yo, yo, yo.
We're back, motherfucker!
How's it going, man?
For the haters. So I need to loosen up.
Yeah, you're boring, dude. How's your bank holiday been?
Tedious? No. Tedious isn't fair. Groundhog Day, again.
Yeah.
But,
To be fair, I'm glad we've had a bank holiday because I've needed a day off.
I really needed the rest. Yeah, fuck. Should we get into it?
Let's go, man.
So, this episode, we have my very old friend, Dav. Some of you will know him from Bury Tomorrow. Some of you won't know him. But let's get to know him. Let's get him in.
Woo.
Hey up, kid.
So slick. It's almost like you never knew that you'd fucked it up in the first place.
Oh, I fucking knew you were going to drop me in it, man. Knew it.
Yeah,
I'm going to take my glasses off because actually, no. I'm just so shiny right now.
It's that pasty complexion.
I know, look at me. You can take the goth out the boy, but you can never take the boy out the goth.
I feel you.
It depends what nightclub you go to.
Sin City, usually, isn't
it? So, Dav, for those of you that don't know who you are, that haven't had the privilege,
the absolute privilege.
Absolutely, yeah. Just a brief explanation as to who the fuck you are.
I'm a very lucky musician that gets to play lots of shows around the world in a band called Bury Tomorrow. I also do a lot of stuff online, and pretty much involved in lots of different media of art, and just generally living my life the best way I can do without doing a 9 to 5. I'm sure you guys know about that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Although I long for the 9 to 5 right now.
No, you don't, mate. No, you don't.
Actually, no, it's a lie. I've done it.
I'm currently doing shifts in the hospital, and trust me, you don't need that in your life right now.
So obviously things are a bit up in the air for everyone. It's obviously impacted the band quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a whole year out the window, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's even more annoying, really, because this was the year we were releasing an album, and obviously that got pushed back because we thought this was like a temporary thing, and then all of a sudden it wasn't a temporary thing. It was more of a, hey, 2020 is out the window.
Yeah.
You know how like Nostradamus predicted that like the end of the world would come like 2012, and everyone freaked out over December 2012. Yeah. Wrong year, mate. It was out by 8. Like, this is the year where it all crumbles. Well, it's not over yet. I think I personally am full on board with all conspiracy theories. We're going to have like alien invasion, British tsunamis. It's all coming. Like,
anything can happen now. It's like the
gloves are off. Gloves are off. Who'd have thought in our lifetime we would have seen like a Spanish flu level event? Like, that is mental to think about.
That being said, they do say roughly every 100 years, so we're overdue.
Yeah, every time
reset.
Well,
someone restart that counter. We're back.
I'll take a reset on that shit. Yeah. So, funny story. Is it funny? Maybe not. So,
probably not.
It's not funny. No.
Jordan and I actually met.
You did that exactly the same time.
Yeah.
That was really.
So,
did you practice that?
So
we did, yeah.
So Exit 10 Bury Tomorrow show way back when, the tour,
2008, 2007.
Oh, I can't even remember. The Vic Inn in Derby,
one of my favourite venues in the country.
Yeah,
it's now like an Indian banquet hall, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Mate, I was talking about the Vic Inn the other day in an interview with Rock Sound. I was just saying how like the Vic Inn was the first place outside of Southampton that I remember doing a sellout show.
It's great. It's a really cool little venue.
First year of being a band, really.
But yeah, me and Jordan.
MySpace.
Jordan was at that show, believe it or not.
I was
Really?
there. Yeah. Who'd have known? This before you tattooed, wasn't it, Andy?
I had started
You
tattooing.
started. So it's
It
very,
wasn't very good.
Started
Right.
by like doing doodles on your leg, probably.
At that point, I'd already like tattooed myself a bunch, and they weren't bad. So,
they were bad, or weren't
no, they
bad?
weren't that bad.
They weren't that bad.
As bad as the 9-liner for everything technique that I taught you.
Did you? I mean,
9-liner, lining, 9-liner,
yeah.
anything, 9-liner. It's perfect. It's the most versatile needle, mate. What do you do with it?
That's the go-to, isn't it?
No. All joking aside, like I tattooed my friend like 3 years ago, and he was a tattoo artist. He wanted a tattoo, couldn't be asked with doing a stencil, anything like that. So like I freehand drew, like a dinosaur wearing shades on him, 9-liner, and then he's like, "What about the shading?" So I just did this gnarly like whip shading with a 9-liner.
Oh, the round liner.
It was disgraceful. And then I signed it because I have this theory that the only successful tattoo artists, obviously you two not included, but are all Eastern European. So I need an Eastern European.
Well, a lot of them are.
So I signed it Davinsky. Like, so he's got this fucking monstrous dinosaur with sunglasses on his leg with the worst polka dots, because that's how the whip shading came out.
Oh my god!
Davinsky down the bottom.
How chewed up is it as well?
Oh, it stayed. It's a beaut, mate. It's not.
Yeah, it might have stayed, but
gentle hands,
like,
isn't it?
is it keloid?
No, mate. It actually healed so well. It's actually disgraceful. I'll send you a photo after this, so
yeah, I need to see
it
shit.
up on the sides and stuff.
Oh dear. I mean, we can get into funny tattoo stories, but I'd like to try and save it.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So let's save it till the end.
It's yours. Don't steal the ship away from me.
So, I want to sort of take people back a bit, because anyone that has been following your band, or is new to the band, might sort of think that you've kind of appeared out of nowhere. And
I should hope that they don't think that after 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe they need to reevaluate that. Maybe it's them that have turned up out.
Yeah. Well, it's been
a while now.
It's been a very long time, and you've had an awful lot of like significant setbacks. Like, let's talk about the sort of, how you guys have sort of relentlessly pursued this, and you haven't given up despite those things.
I think, honestly, when you want to do something and you really believe in it, and I don't think this just goes for music. I think this honestly goes for anything. When you really believe in something, you have to have a little bit of like blind ignorance about you. Like, you have to just believe.
I've had plenty of that, mate.
Oh, dude, that's so weird. At that show, me and Andy met. The opening act was called Blind Ignorance.
Oh,
it never was it?
It was, yeah. It's my friend's band,
amazing.
yeah.
Holy shit.
How weird is that?
Wait, Blind Ignorance, didn't that was it Ben Gaines on drum?
It was, yeah, drumming, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Not
shout out to Ben Gaines.
Shout out Ben Gaines.
Is he into bodybuilding?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Gaines, no.
He's got some serious ginger mullet gains, though.
Sick.
If you want to check that out. But yeah, like, I think you've got to have a little bit of like unrealism about you, because if you sit there and you kind of work out all the things that could go wrong and probably are going to go wrong, you don't have the effort for it. And the older you get, the more you have to get like that. We've had some, we had labels that dropped us on the same day that agents dropped us, on the same day that management dropped us, and then you have to kind of like pick yourself up and just go, right, is this worth it? And obviously you doubt it, but if you honestly believe in your product, and I think that goes for any industry, if you believe in your product and you believe that what you've got is worth selling, then you've got to just keep going. Because with music, and I don't know if this is the same in tattoo, and I really don't, but with music, it's a numbers game. It's essentially keep going, because even if you're not popular right now, will you survive long enough to hit the next wave of what you're going to be popular with. And I think that's kind of like, you see some bands that like disappear for a while, drop down, and then they've just kept going. They've kept just enough like notoriety and relevance about them so that when that wave hits again, it's almost like they're the OGs of that particular genre, something like that. And I think that every band is doing that. Every band is in this cycle of, you know, are they popular right now? Were they popular and not so popular anymore? Were they popular and now getting popular again? You know, I think the hardest thing for any band is when you sit there and you realize that there is a new wave of people coming through right now that you potentially are I know it sounds stupid, but the hardest part about, you think you're putting out this new music and you think that you are really kind of like, you know, really pushing yourself. You're a new band. I still think of us as a new band, like, or not made it, stuff like that. And then there are bands coming out that are like absolutely killing it, going, oh yeah, like your first album was such a inspiration to us. That's how, you know, that sort of thing. And I'm just like, God, that doesn't at all make me feel good in a way, because that means I've been doing this for so long that now I've become inspiring to these younger bands. And that's kind of like, you know, it is good. It's really good. But no band ever wants to think of themselves as like the OGs. Whereas I think in tattooing, I guess, to draw a parallel, like, you want to be the OG, don't you? You want to be the original person who came up with something that made your kind of craft.
We were talking about this, Jordan and I, recently about with tattooing, like, we're kind of striving for a consistent body of work, and it's probably a similar thing with music. You know, well, I say consistent. You know, it's consistently good, but you're always striving to get better. And you know, rather than so being like an OG is kind of more preferable than being the new young fad.
Flash in the pan,
because that shit ain't gonna last.
To like, particularly with tattooing, do you find it easier to kind of like control that narrative a bit more, because you in a sense can use that social media to your advantage? Like, you never have to show your kind of like off days, like when it comes to your output. Whereas, like, you know, and because, you know, all that's going to happen is that person that got that tattoo put it up and kind of like, you know, to their 12 friends, like,
unless they've got like 70,000 followers or something.
I think this is the thing that I find hard. Yeah, that's true. But if you've got that, don't fuck it up. You know, that's like me fucking up main stage download. If I do that, like, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not escaping that. But I think that's the hardest thing with anything in the modern world. Like, you know, if you're a pro gamer, or you're like, you know, you're someone who's big on Instagram, or, you know, someone who's like live social media or anything like that, or being in a band, is every mistake is under this magnifying glass, dude. Like, if I make a mistake, if I tweet something out, if I say something wrong, like, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see bands,
it's a cancel culture, isn't it?
Yeah, like overnight, like, and not just a cancer culture, not just a cancel culture, but it's more. I don't know, like, you can just, you know, how many times, Andy, have me and you have been drunk and said and done completely stupid things? But imagine if that was us growing up now. Imagine if you were like a young band and like you put that on an Instagram live, like, do you know what I mean? Like, game over. Like,
mate, honestly, it's like, it's a relief that like Instagram wasn't around when I was like, you know, 18, 19, 20. Because it would have been I'd have got cancelled, mate. I'd have got cancelled.
Me too. Like, I did. Yeah, exactly. Me too. I did. I went back to my early tweets, like, because, you know, I've always kind of liked to consider myself the lovable arsehole. Like, you know,
provocative.
I'll say what I want. But I went back and I read some of my tweets from like 2009, 2010. I was like, I'm going to have to job lot delete the lot of these. Like, you know, I cannot have this in like the social atmosphere right now. So I just deleted everything. I was like, nope. Let's pretend that never
cancel
happened.
Myself. So, yeah.
Cancel myself. I'm done. I'm out. It wasn't anything like majorly bad, but some of the things I said, like, even now, like, I think it does show. It's like that's what is really good about social media. You can reflect on kind of like how you've grown as a person. You both in your work, both in your ethic, that sort of thing. But I was looking back at some of the things. I was like, they're still funny, but it's like American Pie
not funny
syndrome.
to everybody.
Yeah, do you know American Pie syndrome? You look at American Pie now in this day and age, and you're like, holy shit! Like this was allowed to be made. Like, how did we were all thought this was the best comedy of all time? Like, what happened there? Like, feeling like I wrote Songs of the South by Disney. Like, what is going on? Like,
it's weird because like now, because everybody's under this spotlight, especially when you're sort of trying to push like any sort of career, that you really have to carefully curate what you're putting out. And like Jordan, we've said it before, haven't we? Where you're like so careful and particular.
Too careful, yeah. I'm like the other way around. I'm like so scared of any kind of rocking the boat. I'm so careful. You've got to, and a lot of people are like that now, and it's almost just as bad the other way. You've got to. So the pressure is you've got to. Because I'm a few years younger than you, Andy. I came up a couple. I like to remind him. But I mean, like when I came up, when I was starting my apprenticeship, it was everything was on social media. To get any kind of work, you had to push out on social media, and you've got to show yourself in the best light possible. And for me, that's kind of gone the other way. That I don't share anything about myself, and it's almost a problem in that way as well.
I mean, that leads us quite
liberating to be someone like someone like Jace, for example. Like he sees the value in social media as exactly what it is, a promotional tool. He sees it like free ads or like like back in the day, like all of that. So like he doesn't care. Like he appears so savage online because it's like, well, what difference does it make? Do you know what I mean? It's Instagram, it's Twitter. They're not real. Like everyone on there is like full of shit. And I find that so liberating. I wish I could think like that. I wish I could just be like, oh, I don't care. Like, but I do. I'll say something and I'll be like, ha ha ha, and then I'll be like, gonna delete that. I'm a real asshole right now. Like I don't need to be. But yeah, I think in general, like when you're in a band, it's you're not ever just speaking for one person. Like if I came out, like, and how many bands have we seen absolutely destroyed over the years because one member said something heinous?
Well, something that is you had very nearly had a similar situation, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the reasons why we got rid of our first guitarist was because we literally decided that he wasn't what we wanted to represent ourselves as. Like it wasn't what we were about. And when you're five dudes in a band, you have to, no matter who you are, all of you have to kind of be on the same mindset. You've got to be, look, we may not agree, but in the public eye, your opinion is my opinion. So you've got to, if you say fuck this magazine, that's all of us saying fuck that magazine. If
united say, front, isn't it?
If you say I love drugs, you're basically saying that all of us love drugs. Like there's no way around it. Like it's, and so we kind of, I don't touch on it much because that's something, we made a very socially conscious decision back in the day. Like, hey, you do you go and get on with it. But for us, that's not what we want to be about. Like we have for a very long time, and this, Andy. Like we've, if you're going to do something like this, you got to do it with positivity, and you got to spread positivity.
Absolutely.
And I've always wanted our fans to feel like they're not going to get leched on or kind of like beaten up for being who they are. Like I want everyone. I've often joked I want to be the first metalcore band to play Pride. Like I want to like be fully inclusive of everyone to the point where it's vitriolic. And I think one of my proudest things is I honestly think that our fan base has got to the point now where like anyone and everyone is included and they will fight for each other. And that is, they are loyal beyond anything because we've kind of believed in them just as much as they believed in us. Like,
Well, I mean, that's something I wanted to get into, really, about how you guys connect with your fans. Because, if anyone has taken the time to check you out, if they don't know the band already, you are really, really active and like engaging with your fan base, as opposed to like a lot of bands. There's that sort of like, oh, I'm too cool, like, keep your distance,
Dude, it comes as a double-edged sword. I mean, I don't disrespect any of those bands that are like that. When you get to a certain level, and any band that you speak to would say this, when you get to a certain level, things get a bit weird. It gets weird and it gets difficult. But we've never treated it like that. So now it isn't like that for us. Okay, so our fans have grown up with it. You talk about the Viking and Derby. Like, we met some of our fans there, and they've come with us. They've helped us. We've stayed at their houses. We've met their parents. Like, we've done all those things, and we've grown up with them. That it's kind of, they are as much as part of the band as we are. The only difference is that we are the people on stage, and I think that we've always treated it like that, and it's very easy to engage with a group of people that are just like your community and not, you're the fans where, this is it. We've never tried to, we sell merch to get to the next show. We don't do paid meet and greets. We don't do kind of those, those weird money grabbing things, and that's not because we think we're better than the bands that do. In all fairness, there are a lot of bands out there that need to do those sorts of things in order to get to the next level, or need to do it in order to put food on their table. But for us, I believe that by having such a loyal fan base, we could put out a t-shirt this week, they'll buy this t-shirt. You could put out a new t-shirt next week, they buy that t-shirt. That's not mugging anyone off. That's just because they know where that money's going. They know where,
it's not sort of devaluing their loyalty.
No, exactly. And I think with everything, there's a price. This with tattooing. What some people would consider to be a good tattoo for 500 quid, some people will think is wildly overpriced. Some people will pay $2,000 for a tattoo and think they got the best deal in the world, when other people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I think it's all about the price of the ownership. I believe that every single one of our fans should feel that when they get their ticket for a show and they get their merch, that they've got their money's worth at least, or if not, got more than their money's worth. And I think that is what's really important. It's about adding value to your brand by quality.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've again, me and Jordan, we've had this conversation over and over again about trying to add value, like, to our clients. Like,
Jordan currently looks like some kind of like...
This has happened before. This isn't the first time his videos.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Look like the dude from Always Sunny when he said it was mad.
Sorry, it's my little girl's watching Shrek on Netflix, and it's absolutely rinsing.
Well, I'll just say, like, Shrek is one of the best. Shrek is love. Am I right?
Yes, sure. Elmo is love. Where were we? About adding. So, Jordan, we've had this conversation on a number of occasions about how we can add, like, within tattooing, we can add value to our clients and the experience. Like, I mean, what do you think, like, parallels could be drawn from your experience?
Charlie, fine. He's kind of attractive. It looks like we're calling him. It does kind of look like he's the one that couldn't get the webcam. And now we go over to our reporter live from Sierra Leone.
Can you still hear me? Am I still here?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Okay. You need to change your Netflix settings to standard definition, mate.
Oh man, story of my life.
Should I try again?
I can hear you. I've heard everything. Don't worry.
So, like, how do you think, like, what parallels can be drawn from your experience, Dav, and what do you think tattooers could learn from that, and how they could translate it into their business model and, bring value to the experience for their clients?
I think your main aim with value is return custom, isn't it? And that's the same in tattooing. That's the same with being in a band. You want someone to finish a show or finish a tattoo and instantly be thinking about the next one. You don't want them to. He's gone again. But you don't want them.
I can hear you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
But you don't ever want them to get to the end of the show and they'll be like, "That's good now. I'm good. I don't need to see that again. I've seen them once." Yeah, and there have been bands that I've gone to that have definitely been like that. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I've seen them. That was an experience. Don't need to see them again. Yeah. With tattooing, you can go to an artist, you can get a great tattoo. It can be the best tattoo they've got on their body, and they can be like, "I will never get tattooed by that person again." Not because of any disrespect. It's just, the experience is done for me now. I'm good. Yeah. And I think that in order to bring people back, it's about a welcoming atmosphere. And, in metal particularly, as well as tattooing, it is very much a boys' club. It's very much a boys' club. It's both scenes are changing, but I don't think we make it easy for people outside of a set group to easy. What a way to freeze! That is amazing. But we don't make it easy for people to enter our world. Me and you have talked about this before, Andy. Like, it's not easy for anyone to just walk off the street into a tattoo studio and instantly feel comfortable.
It's intimidating. I feel intimidated going to tattoo studios.
Just in the same way, it's when you go to your first metal show, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're, male, female, it doesn't matter if you're, any color, any creed, any sexuality. It doesn't feel comfortable going to your first metal show if the community isn't right, if they're not approachable. And that's what we're trying to do with our community. We're trying to get it so you can do that. You can turn up to one of our shows by yourself and it will feel like that. I think the other thing you can do as well is give value to your product. Yeah, you guys know how good you are. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that your good is someone else's phenomenal. And I think that what you do in those circumstances, what makes your great tattoo phenomenal is the experience. Did they have fun when you were there? Were they comfortable? Did you kind of talk them through it? Did you make them feel stupid for asking questions? Did you kind of these are all things that happen with us. Like, a fan waits 6 hours. Did you mug them off and not speak to them? Or did you speak to them? Like, if you show people that you care about what their experience is, that goes so far. That goes with anybody. I learned that working in retail, dude. Like, I used to work at Virgin Megastores, and by far,
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's not like Branson needs anymore though, is it?
No.
But that's what I learned there. Like, they always had these top sellers list. I would always end up top of the sellers list because I'd literally just talk to people and think about what they wanted and how I could give them that easier and quicker so that they felt more needed and would potentially buy more. That way, when you suggest things, it doesn't feel like you're trying to upsell anyone because you're not. You're genuinely interested in what they're trying to get out of what they're doing. I think that's the same with tattoo artists. Like, the main thing that everyone wants to talk about, if they don't have a tattoo, I want a sleeve. I'd like to get a sleeve one day. They don't know what they want, but that's them going to you. I don't have a fucking clue about this world.
Tell me what to get.
Yeah, make me feel comfortable. Tell me what would look really good and how you could smash that. Yeah, because I tell you what, some of the artists I've been in and they've been like, "Oh, dude, like, imagine if we did this and we did this, and then." That connected to, and I've been like, I'm ready to give you all of my money to make this work. I will give you, that sounds exactly what I want. Give it to me. And I think that's what a lot of people, a lot of artists don't appreciate is the fact that people aren't asking that because they're kind of dumb. They're asking that because they genuinely want validation. And, metal fans and music fans want validation for the amount of effort they're putting into your music. Is it, am I right to wait for 6 hours outside of a venue? Am I right to spend all of my paycheck on, your merch and your CDs and your tickets? Okay, well, yes, you are. Not because we want you to, but because this is what that experience brings to you. And I think that's what it is.
I mean, I've got to say, over the however many years we've been friends, it's got to be 12, isn't it? Your live shows have progressively got better and better and better, and like every time you come out and do a tour, you've stepped it up a level again every time, and that to me is adding that value. So you've got those people coming back to see you again. They're like, holy shit, how can they get better? But they have,
But I don't even think it's a case of, honestly, and I'm not dumbing down my own band here, because please, I want you all to listen to my music. I want you all to buy albums, please. I need to buy a house one day. It'd be really nice. But it's what you were saying before. It's about consistency. We might not have got better at playing since the last time you saw us, and guess what? We probably haven't. Yeah, but the difference is,
when was the last time you picked up your bass at home and practiced?
Actually, I've been practicing a lot in this.
Okay.
I've been one of those guys that's like, no, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna fucking do it. But yeah, like if you see a band and they're really tight and they're really sick and you've really enjoyed them, yeah, in a year's time you'll have forgotten what that was like. You will assume it was a good show. You've got the memories, you got the photos. It was an awesome show. It was an awesome show. You see that show, and it could, as long as it's, we always change our production. We always change our set. We feel that we need to up the game. Yeah, add more songs, do this, do that, work on the flow of the songs, that sort of thing. But honestly, as long as that consistency is there, again, people will always come away from that next show going, "Oh, it's better than the last one. It was 100% better than the last one." That's because. And isn't that sad that in this day and age, like consistency is almost like, a rare commodity. Like it's rare.
Yeah, true.
It's rare to be consistent, and I just think that is, how is that a thing that we are in a state of the world where if you consistently see someone they're good at what they do, it's not boring because, it's almost like you're waiting for them to fuck up.
You can't. It's quite easy to take it for granted, Like, how long have we been working together? 2 years.
Yeah,
and
about 2 years now.
sometimes I'm like, I forget how good he is, and I'm like, and I see a I'm like, oh yeah, he's fucking wicked, isn't he? It's well good. You're like, oh shit, I better stop my shit out and get a bit better.
I do think you need to surround yourself with people that make you up your game, though.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
I'm not easy people to coast with. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like my dudes. Danny's one of the best in the game. I fully believe that. Jace is one of the best in the game. I fully believe that. Dorse is unbelievable, like the best in the game.
He has totally changed your band for the better.
Literally rock solid, like solid. Like he when you talk about consistency, the name Adam Jackson is there. Like he is he will deliver. He isn't one of these flary drummers, like just drum solo wank all over the kit. Like no, but he is solid and consistent, and from someone who delivers on a nightly basis, that's what you want. And so it's not, for someone, I'm not musically gifted like any of those dudes at all, so I know there's a certain level of expectation. They know that, so that their expectations only go so far, but I still have to meet that. Like for me, it's always been performance based. I've wanted to be a performer. Like
you are.
No, I am so hard, man. I've always valued a show more than I valued, like, I would prefer to watch someone like The Chariot than I would prefer to watch Animals as Leaders. Not because I think that, The Chariot are a better band or anything.
But you are going to walk away thinking those guys are absolutely batshit.
I guarantee there are more people that walk away from a Chariot show going, that was the best gig of my life, than there are people walking away from an Animals as Leaders going, that was a life-changing gig. Like, and the people that do are the people who are super into that niche of kind of real technical music. They can, I can go to an Animals as Leaders and go, wow, that is sick, but it will never feature in my top 5 gigs of all time.
Yeah.
Whereas
Whereas
if you take me back to Hatebreed, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like Hatebreed 2009, I'll smack. You know, that was one of the best gigs I've ever been to. Like,
I'm from more of like a hard, like the sort of punk rock hardcore background. So like, I really value a show. You know, over if I walk out and I'm like sweating and like bleeding from somewhere, you know, it's been a good gig.
absolutely, and I think that there are certain bands that have kind of blurred the lines of like punk, metal, and kind of like mainstream, like a band like Alexa on Fire, right? Technically incredible, yeah. Every single member is great, but live, they had George, and like you've got Dallas Green, who's got the most beautiful voice. You've got Wade, who is incredible. You know, all of them are going nuts.
He's also got a sick voice.
Yeah, but then you look at George and Rat, and you're literally like, you can't keep your eyes off them when they're playing. Like, and that's insane. Like, you've got, you know, probably the best singer stood right there in the scene, and you're not looking at them. You're looking at the bassist rolling around on the floor, and it's true. It's absolutely true. But
chicks proper dig George as well, don't they?
Yeah, and it's because
they love that dad
bod and absolute willing to put on a show. And I think that, you know, again, that adds to the value. I think you need a bit of that with each member. Like, there needs to be certain members that are willing to, you know, I've always said I'll put my body above my own personal safety below the show. You know, when we did that Stage Invasion tour, and honest to God, every single night,
that was carnage, mate.
Every single night, every single night I got hurt. I would jump off things. I would dive into things. Like, I would not care, and I would regret it after the show. But during the show, I was like, nah, these shows need to feel like, you know, a terror video. They need to feel like old school. Holy
Stomping.
Shit! How did I survive? How did I survive that show? I wanted every night people to walk away going, I can't believe I survived that show. And that, you know, without it, and still, what was amazing about that, it had that intensity, and yet still people weren't like, you know, fuck that band for like being overly aggressive or anything. It wasn't like that. It was like this community spirit of let's get mental. Like, you know, like a house party that gets really out of control and no one's meaning to kick a hole through the wall, but everyone cheers them on anyway. That's what it felt like the entire time for 4 weeks around the UK.
We want to talk about, we touched on it briefly, the paid meet and greets thing, because Jordan's dying to know really how you feel about it.
Yeah, you guys aren't very clear on that when you perform. that doesn't come on a lot.
We've taken a proper stance in terms of not talking about it anymore, because everyone knows our stance on it now, and you know, it's important to us, but we don't want it make it feel like we're flogging a dead horse and it just becoming the same rhetoric over and over again. So we don't really talk about it anymore. We put the emphasis now on, hey, if you want to meet us, like, you know where we'll be, like, essentially. It wasn't that we stopped being so vitriolic about it at all. It is literally because exactly what you said, like, you come to one Bury Tomorrow show in the last 5 years, you're just waiting for the speech about, like, you know, us hating meet and greets and how it's
yeah. I've got to say, just like when you go see a band and, like, you know, and there's like two or 3 years between shows and they're still using the same spiel between songs, you're like, oh mate, come on.
I've seen this one before. Yeah
I
remember seeing, and I love them, but I remember seeing Skindred a year apart and it being the exact same set. And I just think, wait a second, like, this is the exact same set as I heard a year ago. Like, but
fucking Frozen again, man.
I don't know what's going on, man.
Honestly, you need to sort your internet out.
I don't know what's happening. Goddamn Virgin.
I'm still clear right now. So much so you're going to have to blur that Bud Bowl just so it's not, you know, advertising.
I'm hoping that, like, we start getting some, like, advertising offers. You know,
you're not Post Malone, mate. I don't think it's going to happen.
probably a better guitarist than him.
Oh mate, I really loved that set they did. That Nirvana set was sick.
And I
The
can't
Nirvana
play guitar.
set.
I
Oh
can't
mate,
play
that
guitar.
Nirvana set was awesome.
It was.
It
And did
was
you see
sick.
Dave Grohl? Dave Grohl literally was like, "That's the best non-Nirvana set I've ever seen."
Yeah, he loved it.
Have you
not
seen Dave Grohl's? Nah, I'm not bothered either way. I've tried.
He's like that movie at Freaks, it's like one of us. He's one of us. We got to respect that man. He's one of us. He came from our town, man. He's us. He's us. Every single one of us that is in the metal or tattoo community, right? That loved hip hop, that they liked it, but they were never going to be in that world. Yeah, that's him. That's literally. And
I don't think he's really in that world, though, is he?
Me. Yeah, he fully is, dude. He's fully in that hip hop world, and like he is. I bet if me and him sat down and we compared iPods, our iPods look almost identical. Like I could almost guarantee the style of music that he's listening to.
So someone drove past us. This dude, he's in like a proper lad's car. And he's absolutely blasting Christina Aguilera. I was like, I did think of you, Dav. I did think of you.
What I've got into a moment, and I can't even help myself. Right, I'm all into catchy pop here. BTS,
Love it.
mate. I can't understand a fucking word they're saying.
That's the advert.
That's the advert. Yeah.
Can't understand a single word they're saying, but my god, is it catchy. I'm walking around the house thinking I'm singing Korean. I'm definitely not.
It's super racist.
Oh, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't ever sing this out loud because I'm literally doing a really bad Korean language, but it's amazing. Dude, it's so catchy. It's sick. I'm like,
they've been on the hard sell on YouTube.
Yeah, every other, because we use YouTube at work to listen to music, and every other song is a BTS advert. And me and Andy are like, does anyone listen to this? Like, why are they advertising so much? But you're the guy.
One of the biggest bands in the entire world. Like, they are billions and billions of views and listens. We're not talking
millions. Mad, isn't it?
We're not talking like, millions of views and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. We're talking billions. Their last music video was one of the, I think it went to 1 billion plays in like 8 days or something stupid like that.
They're making some serious bank off YouTube.
YouTube, like I believe, like at the moment, the algorithm is. I mean, obviously, it goes up and down depending on who you are partnering and stuff like that. But pretty much, it's like 1,000 views is, £10 or £100 or something like that, or it may even be smaller than that. 1,000 views is £1 or something like that. But when you're doing billions, YouTube is the reason when people talk about bands not being able to support themselves. But the reason why pop acts music videos have gone like that is because you can justify spending $1 million on a music video if it's getting
1 billion
200 million views. Like, why wouldn't you spend it? It's just money in the bank.
We're on the early stepping stones of trying to build our channel.
This is the thing that I don't understand with tattooing, right? So I've recently entered the world of Twitch, right? And it's a bonkers as fuck world. I don't understand it, and I'm just doing it, but I'm kind of muscling my way through. Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got a little bit of a leg up because I got a built-in group of people who want to just see me do more things online. Yep. But what I don't understand is, and this is a real niche, why are there not more tattoo artists on Twitch? Because we're talking about a service which is talking about hours and hours of online viewing, right? I don't understand why there aren't more tattoo artists setting up GoPros and stuff like that and doing multicam streams. Because even if you get to that affiliate level, yeah, and you're talking, you can get some donations and subscriptions and stuff like that. Even if let's just say your tattoo that you're doing today is paying you £500, yeah, you could potentially off a 5-6 hour stream earn another 50 quid on top of that just from streaming it. Like, extra revenue for the same thing. This is why, why I don't understand why personal trainers, why aren't they on Twitch like that? Why
I've
are
got to
they
say,
all on Facebook Live? Like,
it's never a platform that I've really looked at.
but I don't think they have, because it's so and you look at the people that have blossomed on it, I guess, and they are people that have taken the concept of what it is and applied it to their craft. So you're seeing a lot of music people move there and doing songwriting sessions and kind of vocal sessions on there, because it's behind the veil, like the Wizard of Oz type thing, where what's going on behind there. I think that in terms of what, so put it this way, yeah, and who's going to do this, because in the tattoo community you'll be hated for it, yeah, but as a whole, if you're talking about a money making thing, imagine if you get the YouTube tutorials of like, this is how you draw a traditional rose. Imagine if you did that, but you did it on Twitch, and you're like, we're going to tattoo a trad rose today, let's go, and you literally just film the whole thing. That you would fly so quickly, man. Like, honestly, because there's a real niche there, right there, where no one's doing it.
I mean, I will definitely look into it.
You know full well now that if you were like, there is a channel right now that you can go and watch, and they're going to be doing, Japanese dragons today, yeah. So we're going to do a Japanese dragon line work today. I'd go and watch it. It'd be fucking cool as shit to go and watch someone do that, particularly someone who's good. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to sit there for 6 hours and watch the whole thing, man, but you are going to dip in and out. And it's about how have apps blossomed in 2020, yeah? Microtransactions. And that's what these things are. They are like a built-in live microtransaction. So yes, I tip you $1, Andy, you're taking 53p from that. But over 9 hours, if you've had like $10 an hour, that's adding up, bro. Like, that's really adding up. And you're
considering like I could spend, a portrait, I could spend 8 hours, 9 hours on it,
But the other thing is, and it's about those multi-stream assets, right? So once you've done that Twitch, just put it on YouTube, because then it's there forever. And
this will, the video will go on YouTube, and the audio will go on iTunes and everything else.
I just think that there are so many possibilities in this day and age, and if it wasn't for this heinous lockdown, like, I would have procrastinated and doing it, and never have done it. And I would have then got too old to be relevant to do it, and kind of it would have been out the window. And by that,
you would have been a creepy guy in a band on
Twitch. On Chatterbait, just like. I think now, like, I think about it, and I'm just like, dude, why wouldn't I do this on tour? Like, why wouldn't I do this on tour?
Yeah, what else are you going to do? Sat in a bus or sat?
I think about every night I could have been streaming instead of, just sat around a venue. And during that time, I could have been earning a living as well as having fun, which is exactly what I get to do in the band. But as a whole, I get to do that. Andy, I think about when you've come and tattooed us backstage, man. Imagine streaming that, dude. Like, honest to God, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's already a pretty stressful scenario. Like, find me a space, find me some power. I need some light.
It's definitely not an easy thing, because you have to be a certain person. You have to be like able to engage, I guess, is the best way. And I think that, no one is going to sit there and watch your stream for 7 hours.
If you're sat with headphones on.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to.
Whereas, engage. I mean, you've probably never been in the studio when I've been working, have you?
No, I've only been tattooed you outside of the studio.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan's had the pleasure of working with me for 2 years, so he knows what I'm like in the shop.
Yeah, not
less cringy way, man. Imagine if you use Twitch as a way of, like, your shop, for example, guys. Yeah, you use it. You think about it, right? Reality TV show style. And I know that, but you have cameras all over the shop. Yeah, you could have them, but this would need everyone on the same board. And again, it's not a modern community. Like, despite all the advancements in the technology and machines and stuff like that, it's still very much steeped in tradition and that camaraderie amongst artists, but you could boost it into the 21st century without even trying, because that's the thing. You've got something new there that you wouldn't even have to put in all the effort that someone who's starting gaming would have to.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new platform. I mean, before Andy realized what it was, Andy was trying to suggest me to join OnlyFans because he thought it'd be a good way to sell trick tips on how to. Because I've done a few seminars and stuff.
This is showing my age now, though. You see.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, dude, I found this platform for you that you could sell how-to things on here. Like, it's really good. It's called OnlyFans." I was like, "Dude, you don't know what's going on, do you?"
He's definitely confused that with Patreon, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
So Patreon.
I'm essentially an old man now.
You're not old. You just got the wrong platform name. That's like me saying, "Don't worry, Andy. We'll get you a date. You should download this app called Grindr. It can really find you dates." So you've got the right idea. But yeah, Patreon is perfect for tattoo artists. Like the fact that every tattoo artist anyway doesn't have a Patreon just shows how unmodern that world really is at the moment. I don't even think that's a bad thing. I'm not saying at all that I think that is a bad thing for the industry to kind of be steeped in tradition, but I do think that if what's going to happen is if someone who doesn't have love for its art takes that on board and shows people how, if you're going to do it, you need to do it with respect and love, someone is going to come in and do it, and it's going to be crass and gross, and it's not going to do anything for the industry, and it's going to ruin it for everyone else. Do you see what I mean? That's how I feel about it. I think it needs someone to come in and go, right, this is going to happen anyway, so I'm going to take charge of how this is done in future by making
it. I mean, I'm pretty sure with this platform that we're using for this, I think we could live stream to Twitch and stuff like that anyway. So we can live stream to up to 6 platforms at once.
But imagine something like this, right? Perfect. So I log on to your studio's Twitch when you're live every day, because that's the thing. In a studio, you're tattooing every day, yeah? And imagine if each of these panels was a different station. I'd pop in and check that shit out. That'd be sick. No one's ever seen that before. That's bonkers. That's like, I'd be so into that. There would be so many people that would want to check in and, because what does the first thing anyone does when they come to a studio and they come to hang out? They walk around the stations and they have a look what everyone's doing. Imagine if you could do that online, and then I see something and I'm like, oh, there's a tip for Andy because that looks fucking sick. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even getting tattooed and I'm paying you for the fact I get to watch it. It's genius.
I like your thinking, Dav. I like your thinking. I mean,
I'm always trying to make the next buck.
So am I. all I'm thinking about is how else can I make money?
10%. Okay, I take 10% if I set it up.
Speaking of studios and whatnot, you were set to start an apprenticeship, weren't you? Before all this kicked off.
It's something I have, as long as I've known you, I've kind of and ahed about. I think that's the best way to put it. I don't want to be another bandooed tattoo artist. There are too many of them. None of them are particularly well known for being incredible, and I just don't want to be.
That was very politically correct, wasn't it?
Well, I'm just trying. I just think that there are certain things that you need to be good at, and I've spent a long time with art, long time designing, long time drawing, and I don't think I'm good enough, as it were. But a lot of things were changing this year, and I started looking at my work with a different light and a different kind of way of thinking. I thought, actually, do you know what? So I kind of spoke to a couple of friends, and one of my friends in particular was super stoked on the idea of me coming in and starting my apprenticeship. Probably more so because he knows that I'm a good shop manager, but I'll take it.
They're hard to come by, mate. They are hard to come by.
And I just think that it felt right for me to do it now. I'm 35 this year. I'm starting mega late in that world, but it's one of those things that if I get it right and I do it 20 years time, I'll have been tattooing 20 years and I'll be 55, and I definitely won't be the oldest tattoo artist in England. Do you know what I mean? And it's a career that can, as long as I can hold a machine and as long as I can draw a straight line, I'm going to have a career in.
Can you draw a straight line, John?
No, I can't. It's not a prerequisite. You don't need to do a straight line. Don't worry.
It's bullshit, mate. You don't need to do lines.
You will do for what I want to do.
Yeah, I've made an entire career avoiding lines.
I respect that. The difference is I'm terrible at shading, dude. So I need to have strong lines and block color.
Whereas I've made a rod for my own back and like forced myself to have to be good at line work.
I don't want, and this is a thing that I'm going to really struggle with, is with music, we talked about, I'm not particularly overcritical of the way that I play. Yeah. When I do other stuff, I'm not overcritical because I have confidence in a certain element of it. I'm going to really struggle posting work on social media when I start.
Are you going to set up a separate like Instagram?
Yeah, but I think I'll keep it totally private until I'm happy with it, which is
you'll never be happy with it, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You'll never be happy.
It's really weird for me because I don't know, it's one area of my work where I'm proper overcritical and just pick it apart, and it's super annoying.
You've got to set yourself up for a roller coaster of self-loathing.
Yeah, that never goes away.
Never goes. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to post that. Like, the thing is, as well as the stuff that I draw is, a cross. Well, it's not a cross between. I guess it is neo-traditional, but it definitely is more leaning towards just straight up traditional, thick black lines, nice bold color. Minimal colors. I like it. It looks good. I think it looks good when it gets older. It looks good when it's kind of fresh. Like, I just love, real heavy tattoos, and they're so easy to pick apart. They're so easy to.
There's no hiding.
Yeah, no hiding at all. And I think the one thing I've been very blessed in is that I've never really cared about criticism. In terms of like, YouTube comments and stuff like that, I just don't see that being the same. If I put up a tattoo and people, completely trash me in the comments, which, let's face it, they're gonna, I'm just gonna be devastated, man. I'll probably like hang up my machine after tattoo 2 and be like, I'm out. See you guys. Like,
yeah, it hurts, man. Like, you can have 50 good comments and that one comment, negative comment, and it breaks you for a week. Early days, I've been close to tears with some of the stuff. I remember early days. I was. Can you remember Fail Blog? I got shared on Fail Blog. It was, because it was someone left a comment saying they could do a better tattoo with their foreskin, and Fail Blog. Yeah, dude, it ruined me for a month. And then not only did the comment upset me, Fail Blog saw it and then posted the tattoo with the comment, and that got hundreds of thousands of views.
Press is bad press, brother.
Mate, that broke me for a good month.
Did you get any bookings out of it? Like,
yeah, but it was all foreskin tattoos.
Respect. Got niche.
You got to take what you get.
Dav, let's talk about tattoos on tour.
Okay.
How many of you have you been you've been tattooed a lot on tour, haven't you?
Yeah, I went through a spate of like every tour getting tattooed, and I'd be hitting up people in different cities that I know to do it. About 2 years ago, I guess, I was like, it sucks, man. Like, it sucks. Like, if you get a good tattoo, you're gutted because by the time you get home, it looks like trash. You get a bad tattoo, you don't care when you're on tour, but when you get back, you're like, why did I get this awful mess? Like, so I was just like, this just, I'm glad I've got some of the ones I've got. Like, I've got one here that got done in a hotel room by this dude in Japan, and he was such a bro. He turned up and I thought a ninja was at my door. No joke, like it was so scary, and I was just like, yeah, cool. So like there are ones I've got that are just awesome. Like, I got the one you did for me on tour, Andy, right there, little.
That was in Nottingham, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I just decided it sucks. Like, it sucks. You're only ever gonna be disappointed with it, even if it's the best tattoo at the time. I got one done by my friend Carolina, and I've wanted to get tattooed by her by fucking ages. Like, honestly, I love her work. I think she's amazing. I got done. I was so stoked, super happy. Get off tour, and honestly, it's like it's just line work now. Like, everything in it dropped out apart from the line work, and I'm just like,
It's like sweating.
and I just don't know when I'm gonna get to be able to redo it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like the only time I'll get to redo it is if I'm on tour again, and then I'm in the same position. So it just fucking sucks. But yeah, I think it's something to do when you're younger. Just in the same way as when you're starting out tattooing, you tattoo your legs. But let's face it now, Andy, you're not going to be sat there at, 6 o'clock on a Saturday going, do you know what? I'm going to fucking tattoo my leg. Let's do it. As you get older, you're like
I've got all my shit at home, and like that is not coming out, and it's not going anywhere near my legs or my body. No fucking chance.
It has occurred to me in this lockdown. I thought maybe, it's a good use of my time, and immediately dismissed that. I don't want to spend the next couple of weeks in lockdown healing up a tattoo. That's the worst way to do it.
Oh, can you imagine? I'm all for like, second skin and stuff like that, and dermalize. Yeah, I think it's incredible, and it's completely changed the way that I heal, and my tattoos look so much better for it. But I tell you something, that stuff can fuck off. Like, I hate the shit. Peeling it off, reapplying it, like getting off that sticky residue. Like, it sucks.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well versed again on sticky residue, aren't you?
But do you know what I mean? You guys must feel that as well. Like, yes, it's great, and it's great that you can kind of like, 3 days, not have to worry, that sort of thing. But fuck me, what a ball ache. I use it on my back when I'm getting my back sessions done. I'm there just in the shower, like peeling off. I feel like I am a foreskin. Do you know what I mean? It's, it's horrible.
Speaking of foreskins, have you got any?
Do I have a foreskin? Yes.
Do you have one? You still have one? Have you got any good tour stories? Funny tour stories or tattoo related tour stories?
I get funny tattoos because I don't think there is nothing. I don't think there's such a thing as a bad tattoo. Like when you are in the right mindset. Like, it could be the worst tattoo in the world to someone else, but I think that it can work for you. So I have some pretty gnarly tattoos that people are like, that's rubbish. And I'm like, nah, it's great. They're some of my favorites. Like, I have a little Hadaway robot that's just on the sign saying, "What is love?" And it was designed by my friend, drunk, on a napkin. And we literally just went and said, we want that. Exactly like that, and it's awful, but it is one of my favorite tattoos ever. I have a donut with an arm out of it because I was like, I can make pastry tough. These are the sorts of ideas that I've come up with. I've got a micro portrait of one of my friends, Veach, on my leg.
Good old Veach.
Yeah, because I bet him, I was like, if I get your face tattooed on me, you let me pierce your belly button. And we were just hanging out in the studio, and he was like, okay. So it's literally like this big, and it's legit pretty good. But I was just like, okay, done it. But I've got him on my leg forever now. And yeah, I pierced his belly button. He took it out after a day, loser. But yeah. I don't like that scrolling comment, by the way. Tell us your funny Davyd stories. Nobody needs to write them in.
How about this one, though?
Yeah, I resent that. You've deleted the OnlyFans one I put up for you.
Yeah, I did delete the OnlyFans one. I mean, I've run out of things to talk about, mate. We've covered all the bases here.
Sorry that I've talked for so long. You know me.
No,
Get me in front of
what
the
we want.
camera. I'll just talk for England.
This is what we want. Oh, sorry, my cat's now crying at the door. So last episode, my cat was.
Oh yeah, how's it doing?
He's got a fucking cone of shame, hasn't he?
Oh no. Why?
Because he got in a fight, and this other cat, he came off worse, and it bit his tail and got infected. So he's got a shaved tail and a cone of shame.
Don't you wish you could put a cone of shame on your customers?
Sometimes.
There's definitely been moments.
But thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bud.
And thanks for freezing every 5 minutes, Jordan. It has.
I know. Goddamn Shrek, man.
Oh, dear.
The big green bastard ruined my evening.
See, now this is what I mean. On tour, I would be like, "Well, I'm going to get a Shrek tattoo," and said, "Shrek hates the Wi-Fi," and that's the sort of thing that and I would 100%.
Andy, I want this. Well, actually, here's a funny story.
Tell that
here's
story.
For a whole tour that I went out with the guys, Dav badgered me to do fat Dav really big across his stomach.
I wanted a stomach rocker.
Like a full-on stomach rocker with fat Dav. And because I know Dav's wife, I was like, mate, I'm not doing it. Like, I can't. Hold up, my cat. Oh, fucking cat's here to ruin the party. Be right back.
I even resorted, mate, to asking him to do it upside down, so it just looked like a gnarly tribal. So then I would do a handstand, and just say fat Dav over my stomach. He was literally having none of it. I'm like, come on. Any other tattoo artist would have 100% done that on me.
Oh, bless him and his morals.
What's the worst thing that you've ever been asked to tattoo that you've been like, okay, I'll do it?
It's got a new nickname. Conehead the Barbarian.
So I got badgered to do for a long time Patrick from EastEnders. I got asked to do a portrait of him, and I said, "There's no way I'm doing Patrick from EastEnders." And he was pretty adamant he wanted it. I was like, "Mate, go away 3 months, and if you still want Patrick from EastEnders, then I'll absolutely do Patrick from EastEnders." 3 months to the day, he walks in the shop and he's like, "Right, when we're doing Patrick," so it had to be done. Yeah, absolutely. Patrick Truman. It was great.
I respect
that. Tell them about your Rolf Harris.
Oh, Rolf Harris, yeah. So I did, yeah, man. So I did a portrait of Rolf Harris pre catching a case. It was on, yeah. So it was on. Well, I don't think it was pre the actual nonce, but it was pre the general public found out about said nonce, and it was a legit reason, man. It was on your cat, dude. It's worse than my Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna get him.
Between your cat and your Wi-Fi, this has been interesting.
It's pretty good. It's gone smoothly. Yeah, man. I got it's a legit reason why I had not Patrick, Rolf Harris. You know, he was a tattoo artist. Oh, look at that cone. Oh, mate. Is he still?
I think you should put some lace around it so it looks like a Jacobean ruff.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
Oh god, it would look so regal, wouldn't it, if you're just walking around with this ruff?
It's retard. He's like, he cannot walk in a straight line. Bless him. Sit down, mate. Oh, here he is. Come back now.
It's been a smooth broadcast, mate, between me and you.
We should probably call it a day. It's turned into a chat. Dav, it's been wicked to have you.
Episodes where you're a lot more slick, yeah.
Yeah.
Dav, it's been wicked to have you.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you for joining us. Thank you for thank you for a good hour and 10 minutes. Well, hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah, once you get it out there.
Yeah. I'm not editing it out. I don't edit, mate. It just goes up. It's done. No edits. Right. So what can people expect from you and Barry tomorrow in the near future?
On July the 3rd. make sure you pick it up. It's called Cannibal. We will be touring eventually one day when it all goes back to normal. Please come see us, and if you'd like to come and you've never come before to one of our shows, or stop it, Amy, then hit us up in advance and we'll put you in touch with fans that can join you there, so that it doesn't feel like you're just doing it all alone. All right?
Sick.
Nice.
Thanks, Dav.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Toodle pip. Right. Well, that was it. Sick. That was Dav.
Nice.
Check out Bury Tomorrow on all the usual platforms, etc., etc. And leave us a comment. Subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a review. It really helps. And we'll see you next time.
Perfect. Cheers.
Peace.